Hello there, good afternoon, you're welcome to the Polity Live, coming to you from KAFTAN Television, the nation's capital, Abuja, the nation's capital. My name is Macualey, Hunohashi, welcoming all our esteemed viewers from around the world for being a part of this program. We're going to open our telephone lines in the course of the show, but before then, let me introduce my special guest who will be joining me, who has already joined me live in the studio. He's no other person than Olumuyiwa Onlede. He's a political commentator, he's a social crusader, and executive director of Citizens Awareness Against Corruption. Olumuyiwa, you're welcome to the Polity. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me once again.
Well, the most topical news today is Edo State governorship election, which has ended and result has been released, and a victor has emerged. And well, there are reactions. In Nigeria, the politicians hardly concede this defeat. And now, while the person that has been adjudged winner, there will be this ambience of jubilation, all around the person. You have monitored the election. You are a concerned Nigerian. What's your reaction so far from the result you have seen?
Yes, the Edo State 2024 Gubernatorial election was conducted on 21st of this month, September 2024. But I must tell you that the election actually started after the 2022 gubernatorial election, when the incumbent governor, Godwin Obaseki, emerged from PDP, having been elected in 2016 from All Progressive Congress, APC. But after he fell out with his political godfather, his friend and political godfather, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, he was disqualified from contesting in 2020, and he shifted to PDP. And he was welcomed warmly, despite the fact that PDP, as at then, under the leadership of Chief Dan Obi, already had somebody in mind that will be their candidate in person of Honorable Obaseki, who was a member of House of Representatives then. Obaseki was welcome, and Obaseki conceded, and critical stakeholders within the rank of PDP in Edo State conceded, and even outside Edo State, prevailed on everybody, and the party ticket was considered to Governor Obaseki. And because of the way Comrade Adams Oshiomhole treated him by disqualifying him from APC as the chairman, the people of Edo State said, no, we are going to support Obaseki. They gave him overwhelming support, and he won the election with like 80-something thousand votes or thereabout. But immediately after the election, the governor was unable to keep to his promises, whether to the party or individuals within the party. He was unable to keep to his promises of engagement, because you are coming from another party. You came from another party. You came to PDP. You came with people. The people he met in PDP complained bitterly that he took over the structure and everything about the party. The appointments were made. Chief Dan Obi was the state chairman then, before he later became the vice chairman of PDP in South. Sorry. They complained bitterly, and the resentment towards Obaseki started from after 2020 election. It has been one problem or the other in the state PDP. Those that came from outside, like His Excellency Yeso Wike, they fell out. So, what do you expect? The build-up to this election, that is the background that I just gave. You cannot disassociate those feelings from the outcome of this election. They felt betrayed, they felt they were cheated, and Comrade Oshiomhole always make reference to that somebody that they call to come and stay under their umbrella has taken away the umbrella from them. And that was the scenario that played out. The election was more or less a verdict against the person of Governor Godwin Obaseki. Number one, he fought everybody as far as I know is concerned. He fought institutions, he fought individuals. Even those that are no longer alive, he fought them. And I would like to make reference to Captain Husa Okubo, who died in 2020, around after the election 2020 during COVID. It is alleged that even some things that was given to him by the state government were taken away from the family after his death. He fought youth leaders, demolished houses. Comrade Tony Kabaka, APC youth leader, an hotelier, hotel that was being used by APC as far back as 2016, where they had their meetings, including the governor. The hotel was brought down after they fell out. Those things culminated to the defeat of his preferred candidate in this election, Asue Ighodalo.
Okay.
Asue Ighodalo, as a man, a very good candidate, vibrant and eloquent, but coming from Godwin Obaseki, dented his candidacy. Coming from Godwin Obaseki, brought about his loss in the election. I must commend Asue Ighodalo for being able to gather 240-something thousand or thereabout, or 260-something thousand votes.
247,000
votes. That shows that he is a good candidate. If we were to live and if we were to look at the incumbent governor, based on the perception of Edo people, based on the way he has treated Edo people, I don't think Asue Ighodalo will have gathered up to 50,000 votes. But because of him, because of his personality, most of the people you see campaigning for PDP and Asue Ighodalo, they were doing it because of the person of Asue Ighodalo. Because I know people that fell out, that were never in good time with Obaseki. I saw them making a U-turn to support Asue Ighodalo. Not because Obaseki has changed, but because as they believe in the manifesto of and in the person of Asue Ighodalo. That this man can really turn things around, can turn the economy of the state around, make the state viable just the way we have in Lagos State and some other states. It is quite unfortunate that he had to lose the election because of the governor. And if you look at it, if you are rounding up your 8 years as governor and you are bringing a successor that, okay, this is my preferred candidate and I want him to continue where I am going to stop in the next 2 months, then what have you done what is on ground that you will continue with? What template have you set? What policies and programs did you put in place that will make him to come to the office, not starting all over again, continue in the wheel of progress that you have set for the state? Absolutely none. If you are bringing a successor after 8 years in office and you want the people to vote for him, you should be using project commissioning to campaign for the candidate and the party. You should be moving from one local government to the other, commissioning at least one project to show the people, this is what we have done. We are commissioning this project and we want you to vote for us again so that more projects will come. But that did not happen. Instead, we saw an outgoing governor. Trying to start projects and gathering people at the scene to say, vote for our candidate when you are just going out. See, it is this politics, every politics is local. You may think, okay, because APC The winner, Senator Monday Okpebholo, is of the APC. And the policy of APC at the central, especially fuel subsidy removal and the floating of the naira, may have affected a lot of people and the masses, so to say. But every policy is local.
Okay.
People in the states will decide who leads them, not necessarily because of what is happening
at the center.
At the center, because politics, the dynamics of politics in every state is different from one state to another. What will make you win election in this state may not necessarily make you win election in another state. And I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
If you look at it, during the campaign in Edo State, people said the candidate of APC is not eloquent, he can't speak English. Then some other people said the candidate of PDP cannot speak his dialect. It was even alleged that he went to his village and went there with an interpreter. When he speaks English, the interpreter interprets in his local dialect. Now, but the loudest was the fact that the candidate of APC is not eloquent and cannot speak English. And I look at it. Is it possible in northern Nigeria for somebody that cannot speak Hausa to run for election and tell people, oh, I am eloquent in English, vote for me, I want to be your governor? I don't think it is possible in the north. And that is the more reason why we see the north as being sophisticated in politics than the rest of us. I'm sorry to say, it may be true, it may not be true, but politics is local. You must come down to the level of the people within the locality where you sought the support of the people. So, what else can we say? Now, politics is local because you, as a member of a political party, no matter how rich you are, no matter how educated you are, you must register from your ward, and you are answerable to your ward chairman. Your ward chairman is your leader in that political party. You must register from that ward, and the ward can suspend you from the party, no matter how illiterate the escorts from the ward. They can suspend you, and that played out. It was Adams Osomole, as chairman of APC, was suspended from his ward by the escorts, and it discontinues the suspension. He did not do anything about it, and they went to court and said, "No, you cannot be chairman. You have already been suspended." Who knows the name of the people in the ward? Nobody knows them. But as popular as Adams Osomole was, and he is still today, he was suspended. So we must look at the people. You must look at the people.
Okay, in looking at the people, I quite agree with you. With regards to the dynamics of politics, that you have tried to differentiate the dynamics that plays out at the local level, in comparison to the center. What happens at the center? That's at the national level. Could that be said to be what affected, Olumuyiwa Akpata? Because he was a guy who contested on the platform of the Labour Party that had groundswell of support when, of the obedient movement when Peter Obi contested last year. And he comes from a zone that, that constitutes over 50% of the voting population. But he came third. Will that be a factor?
No. Let me tell you two factors that affected his candidacy. Number one, Governor Obaseki from Onlede will be finishing its 8 years by November this year.
Yeah.
We know Akpata from the same central Edo South, the Benin's, is coming again to take over from that same zone, from the same local government.
Yes.
If I'm correct. That substantially. Because I was in Benin this year.
Okay.
I was in Benin this year, and I stayed for some weeks. And if you look at the feelings of the people, the power, they actually wanted power to shift to Edo Central, because they've not had, from 1999 they've not had the taste of leadership in the state, at the state level, except for the few, maybe a year or so that Professor Osubo stayed before he was removed by the court. Now, that is one thing. Then the other thing is, for the first time, Olumuyiwa is voting in Edo State. He has always played his politics in Lagos State. So he is coming to Edo State because he's contesting the election. Now, let me now look at his opponent from the PDP. He also from the PDP, though he has been around the political space as member of economic team, even during the reign of Hunohashi, but he has never voted in the state. He just voted for the first time. So the people of Edo State see them as outsiders, so to say, despite the fact that they are indigents of the state. Meanwhile, the other guy, the governor-elect, Senator Monday Okudolo, is a serving senator who gave APC victory in Edo Central for the first time since 1999, defeating Senator Clifford Odia of the PDP. So, they said, boys, that is the language that Edo people used. They said, boys, we want somebody that understands Edo State. We want somebody that knows Edo State. We want one of us, not somebody that is coming from another state. We don't want such a person to lead us. And they thought, because except for the fact that Governor Obaseki was the chairman of the economic team of Adams Oshiomhole, that Asio Godani was part of, they saw him as a Lagos boy that was brought by Adams Oshiomhole to come and lead them. And that is the more reason, and they think that is the more reason the human relation was sort of what is expected of a Benin man, what is expected of a governor of a state, and what is expected of a politician. So, Olumuyiwa wouldn't have gone far. What I thought was that Labour Party, as a political party, will have zoned their ticket to Edo Central. We have people in Labour Party from Edo Central. We have the Rice Man. Okay. Kenneth Imaswagbo contested the election. But Labour Party, in their wisdom, decided to allow the ticket to be open. And in good conscience, I can't see Peter Obi winning an election for Olumuyiwa the way he won for himself in Edo State. Because this in 2023, Peter Obi agitated for power shift to the south. That was the background for which he contested that presidential election. Now, what you rebelled against in 2023, you are not supporting in 2024 in Edo State. It doesn't work that way. Politics doesn't work that way. People will remind you. And let me tell you, the obedient movement, so to say, that I will say the headquarters is in Edo State, was because of the personality of Peter Obi, not really because of Labour Party. That is why you can see that most obedience, they adopted the candidacy of Asio Godani of PDP. Some of them adopted the candidacy of Monday Okudolo, the governor-elect of APC. Some of them even contested because the candidate of NNPP, was formerly in Labour Party. It was before the primaries that he shifted to NNPP and contested under the platform of NNPP. A pastor, the state pastor for Omega Fire Ministry. A very sound and vocal obedient. So the obedient house, so to say, in Edo State was divided. So there was no way they could come together to support.
Even the crisis at the center, we could have also played a role, a factor.
Yes, because as at then, the Labour Party chairman, Comrade Julius Aburi, is from Edo Central.
Yes.
He's from Edo Central. One will have thought that he will have made that pronouncement and say, oh, this ticket should come to Edo Central. Because if you look at it, morally speaking, the APC, headed by somebody from Kano State, zoned the ticket to your people. PDP, headed by somebody from Yobe State, zone the ticket to Central, your people, you from the Central, you couldn't zone the ticket to your people. No, it's not. So I don't see any more demonstration.
It was a
after the primaries. I was waiting for how the Labour Party chairman, in the person of Julius Aburi, will go to Iremi, go to Iriwa, and raise Olumuyiwa's hand and say vote for him. I don't think he will have been able to do that. Though there are rumors that he never supported the candidacy of Olumuyiwa, that even before the primaries, when he came to town in Benin, that is Julius Aburi, the police incident was orchestrated by Olumuyiwa. Nobody could say categorically whether it is true or not true. That is their party internal affairs and internal crisis. But we have thought that they will have dealt with it. You can see that up to the time that Julius Aburi was removed by the Labour Party stakeholders, so to say, there was nowhere he campaigned for the candidacy of Olumuyiwa, and that is not good enough for a political party. I think people should learn how to subordinate their interests, their personal interests, for the generality of the people. Because if we are to be fair, if Labour Party were to be fair, they will have feeded somebody from Edo Central for this particular election. That was the right thing to do. They were wrong, and that is the more reason why they came distant third. Not because Olumuyiwa is not a good candidate, not because he doesn't have the resources to move from one place to another. He campaigned everywhere and he reached out to people, but because of the fact that his brother will be running off his 8 years, there was no way Edo people will have voted for him to continue from where somebody from Edo South is going to head. And we look at it even in 2007, Lucky Benedon, after his 8 years, the power shifted to Edo Central briefly before going to Edo North. So you can see that as at then, the two major political parties, both APC and ACM or AC, so to say, fielded candidates from outside the senatorial district of Lucky Benedon, and that was the right thing to do. So whoever wins as at then, it will be good. At least power has shifted. But for you to bring somebody from the same senatorial district is injustice to the people of Edo State, and most especially the people of Edo Central. Okay.
Well, Olumuyiwa, Onlede, we are going to the results have already out. Governor-elect has already emerged. In the person of Monday Okpebolo, and going by our constitution, especially the electoral law, anybody who is aggrieved or disagrees with the outcome has only one way out, that is to go to the courts to seek redress. But let's listen to the verdict by the INEC returning officer for Edo State governorship election 2024 in the person of the Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Technology, Minna, Professor Farouk Adamu Kuta. Please take a listen.
Is hereby declared the winner Akwebola Monday of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
Well, that was the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Minna, Professor Farouk Adamu Kuta. He was the INEC returning officer for Edo State governorship election 2024. Well, there are reactions. Definitely in Nigeria, reactions usually trail all elections. There are no exceptions. And Gaius Obaseki has been talking. Godwin Obaseki has been talking. He disagrees with the outcome of the result, But in the camp of the All Progressive Congress, led by Adams Oshiomhole, expectedly, these are the two titans that battled it out. And Adams Oshiomhole has also reacted. Let's take a listen to Adams Oshiomhole. Let's hear what he has to say.
Let it be said, 10 years after his rule, people will say, during Senator Monday, now we get this school. During Senator Monday, now we get this hospital. During Senator Monday, now we get this road. For me, it's a personal fulfillment. And those who say there will be bloodbath, God has put them to shame. There is no single reported incident of anybody being shot during this election. There is no one who is in the hospital. So when the national acting chairman of PDP said there will be bloodbath, and people say no, there will be celebration. So for me, it is important that there is no violence. Even those who refuse to sign peace agreement are be consumed by the war in their heart, not the war provided by anybody. So to God be the glory.
I said it all. For me, I believe that this is a turning point in the politics of Edo. This is a turning point in the politics of Edo State. The will of God has been done today. I regard this day as a day of liberation.
You meant God's will?
Yes, I believe strongly that God's will has been done today in Edo State.
Yes,
and I also want you to know that the will of God for people is nothing but progress, happiness, joy, and prosperity.
Well, that's it. You heard both of them. Senator Adams Oshiomhole, they are talking.
The annual returning officer.
The annual returning officer first of all talked.
Yes.
But I want to talk about Akpabio. Akpabio said it was God's will that prevailed.
Any politician will always say that when you win, the election is free and fair.
Yes.
When you lose, the election is not free and fair. It has been rigged.
So the
it's a normal thing in Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
Yeah.
Nobody loses an election in Africa.
And they were elections are always rigged. Even if there was manipulation, they said it's God's will that prevailed. Yes. That's exactly what the Senate President got.
We don't accept defeat. Not only in politics, we don't even accept defeat in sports.
Okay.
We always
How do you actually?
We are being manipulated, especially football.
Professor Farouk Adamukuta, did he do a good job by your own reckoning?
Yes. As a returning officer, you are not a staff of INEC. You are just appointed by INEC to collate results and announce same. If you say election has been rigged, at what level was it rigged?
Was it rigged? Okay.
At what level? Elections are conducted at polling unit level. People vote at polling unit. The election is announced, the result is announced in the polling unit. From the polling unit, they go to wards. They collate at ward level. From ward level, they go to local government collation centers. They collate in local government collation centers. And now the returning officer from the local government will now take same to the state collation center. At what level was election rigged? Because if you look at when the election started on Saturday, everybody commended, both the candidates and their party stakeholders commended INEC and security agencies for orderliness, except in some areas like in the polling unit where Aso Godale voted, in the polling unit where the deputy governor Philip Shaibu voted. There were itches with beavers, which was later rectified, and INEC announced that election time should be extended, voting time should be extended, and that was done. So at what level was election manipulated? At what level? Is see coalition? Is it that result that you gathered from? Because I can't imagine if election was conducted on Saturday, you must have a situation room. Then within 3 hours after results have been announced in different polling units, you are supposed to have your results. You know whether you have won or you have lost. Now, if what they have from agents and what they have from their situation room, collation centers, I'm talking about the parties. If it is different from what INEC announced, I think they have the right to seek redress. And seeking redress, according to 2022 Electoral Act, I want to correct you in that after a result have been announced and return made, you have to go to court first. No, there's still an opportunity for INEC to review the result within 7 days.
Yes.
From now till the next 7 days, INEC is empowered by 2022 Electoral Act to review the result. If there are scenarios, if those complaining have enough evidence to prove that no, there were manipulations. So let us wait for INEC for 7 days to know whether the election results will be reviewed or the result, if it is reviewed and people still have the belief that they are still being cheated, then they have the right to go to court. That is the situation. Now, I want to commend the people of Edo State for the peaceful manner in which this election was conducted, because without them, the security agencies that cover the election security-wise will have a lot of problems, because there were tension in the polity around Edo State there, because the Governor Obaseki boldly said that the 2024 gubernatorial election in Edo State is a do-or-die affair. And that has become a language by leaders that should be condemned in totality. You remember 2007, when late Hunohashi was contesting with Atiku Abubakar and Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah.
Obasanjo said it as a sitting president that this 2007 election is a do-or-die affair. Though he later denied that he said it was a do-or-die affair for his party. But that statement really heated up the polity.
Yeah, that's right.
The same thing with what we had some days ago from Godwin Obaseki, the governor of Edo State. It's quite unfortunate. It is a statement that shouldn't have come from a sitting governor, an incumbent governor, who is the chief security officer of the state. The governors in Nigeria claim to be chief security officer when it comes to security votes. When there are problems, when badges attack, when Boko Haram attack, when there is crisis, when there is kidnapping, they claim not to be the chief security officer. They shift the blame to the federal government. But when it comes to allocation of security vote, they say they are the chief security officer. So, as the chief security officer, it is quite unfortunate. It's an unfortunate statement. And that statement actually had a negative impact on the turnout of voters in Edo State, because if you look at this election very well, you see more of old people, aged people coming out to vote more than we see the youths coming out to vote. In 2023, general election, it was in Edo State, it was all about the youths. You that were disgruntled, you that wanted a change from both APC and PDP, they came out and voted for Peter Obi. But this time around, they did not come to vote because of their candidate, the candidate of Labour Party, and secondly, because of the political tension in the state, because their security was not guaranteed, so to say. That statement actually caused voters apathy in Edo State, and it must be condemned, because Governor Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, had the opportunity of moving away from that statement when he appeared in a television program, but he restated his statement and reinforced the statement and said he had no regret, saying that the election is going to be a do-or-die affair.
Okay, Onlede, at this point we're going to open our telephone line so that viewers can be a part of the conversation. Please, viewers, our telephone number will be displayed on the screen by Master Control. Before we do that, I think it is auspicious also at this point to go on a short break. We are going to take a breather. When we come back, the program continues with Olumuyiwa Onlede still in the studio with me. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTANTV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Are living in up to 5%. Are young people we purpose the harmony symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira card is not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment.
You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Polity coming to you live from the studios of KAFTAN Television from the nation's capital in Abuja. And we're here taking a look at the outcome and reactions trailing Edo State governorship election that happened yesterday. No, day before yesterday, Saturday.
Yes,
and the result came out yesterday. Olumuyiwa Onlede is still with me in the studio, and my name has not changed. It is still Macualey. Hunohashi, thanks for being there. We are going to open our telephone line so that our vibrant callers can begin to call in, so that they can be a part of this conversation. Please do call in. The telephone number is right there on the screen. You can see it being displayed by our guys in the master control room right there. You soon see it anyway. It's there. Please begin to call in so that you can participate by sharing your thoughts with us on the Edo State governorship election. The outcome, we have received our first caller. Hello, good afternoon. You are on to the Polity live from KAFTAN Television. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Mr. Joe Bumuru from Edo State.
Joe Bumuru, you are a regular caller. Go ahead, Joe Bumuru.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the concern. I appreciate your concern in the Edo issue.
Go ahead, please. Your thoughts, please.
Yes, with the statement your colleague said about something motivated him to say that before the election, there was a news from the APC that they were going to hijack the election. Whether they vote or not, Abuja is interested. The federal capital is interested. The president is interested in this election. So I think that was why the governor made that statement. And then coming to the election, if you watch it yesterday, you will see that even the people at the collation center, they were not happy with it themselves. If you look at their faces, they were not happy. Because the way the calculation, the way the result were calculated, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
This is broadly stealing by the INEC, connived with the INEC. The question I'm asking is Nigeria really practicing democracy, or we should just remain in one man party? Because what happened, this is not the reflection of our vote in the State. Please, with all the INEC, within 7 days, they should revise this election and declare the rightful winner.
I would like to ask you whether
nobody is jubilating.
what local government is he from?
Okay, what local government are you from? What local government do you come from?
I'm calling from Akoko.
Akoko Edo, that is your local government.
Yes.
Akoko Edo, the APC result is 34. The APC result is 34,847, while the PDP has 15,865.
That was not the rest of local government. Just
What about Akoko Edo? What about Akoko Edo? Where you voted?
I'm talking about Akoko Edo. The result from Akoko Edo before me here. APC has 34,000. PDP has 15,000.
It's not up to 34,000. What APC has is not up to. The rest of some places they didn't even vote, like Okbe. They didn't vote there.
He's alleging irregularity and rigging. Okay, thank you so very much, Job Umaru.
So within the 7 days that is, let INEC declare the rightful winner. Where this is not who we voted for.
Thank you, Job Umaru. No, first of all, I want you to first of all react to the statement you alluded to, Garo Obaseki. Job Umaru was saying it was God Obaseki. You know, Joe Umaru was saying it was as a result of information emanating from the center concerning federal might. Did federal might play out there in the election?
Was there any statement from the spokespersons of the president?
No.
Was there any statement to that effect? What he said?
No, there wasn't.
So the people that abstained from the election, we are not talking about ourselves here. We are talking about the Edo people, because we expect that
there was apathy.
We expect that every election cycle there will be more voters coming out. But we are seeing a situation whereby voters are reducing, voter apathy, and we say, okay, what is why is it that people refuse to come out?
Okay, let's take this call. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are on to the Polity Live from KAFTAN Television. Your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Please, I'm calling from Bayelsa State, Particular.
Look at your name.
My name is Bagaya. I'm calling from Brass.
Bagaya from Brass. Go ahead.
Sir, please, the governor is now shouting. The last election they did from the local government, PDP takes all. Now they are complaining about the federal government. Is there any governor that has done local government election that other party has won? You cannot give what you don't. You cannot give what you don't have. So they should start to do the local government election well, then before they start complaining.
I like your perspective. I like your perspective, Bagaya from Brass. You know what he's saying is that what is good for the goose is also good for the gander.
We don't have local government elections. We have local government selection.
Exactly.
We don't have local government elections.
Same thing.
Where we have APC, we see APC. APC government, we see APC winning house.
That's exactly what the guy is saying.
But we are not waiting for Labour. We have one Labour Party governor, Analyst of Abia State. We are waiting for him to see what we are not waiting for the governor of Kano State, NPP, to see how they are going to conduct local government election. If it's the same, then I will say Nigeria is in trouble. Because
okay, let's take this call out. Go ahead, your name and where you're calling from. You are on to the Polity Live from KAFTAN Television.
I just have a question to put across.
Please answer your question.
That the governor said there is going to be a new order. Does that give a license for the president to rig this election by all means? Because we have there was a video clip that was going around where the Mr. President clearly stated that use that as a yardstick to vote to decide the election. And I'll say because he said he was provoked. That was why.
Thank you.
There's no justification for the chief security officer to make that kind of statement.
Yeah.
Let us be serious. Let us. I'm not a card member of any political party.
Yeah, I know.
But when you see people make statements like this to support those kind of statements, you see that they are political party supporters. They are card member of political parties. If you have the mind, like people like us can walk around on election day, maybe as observers, as media people, or as voters, if we are there as voters. But it's not everybody that has the mind. When there's tension, they go out.
Exactly.
We are now saying that eligible voters cannot come out to vote based on this. So I can't see what is the argument all about. What is the argument all about? You say it's going to be a do or die affair, then you want people to come out and vote.
Talking about federal might, there are factors, you have mentioned about 2 of them that worked against Godwin Obaseki and his candidate. I want to talk about the over of bidding factor. Before that, let's take this caller. Hello, good afternoon. This is the Polity live from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja. Your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Gabriel. I'm calling from Abuja.
Beg your pardon, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Very loud and clear now. Go ahead.
Sir, between me and you, I know that the election is not credible because the results were not collected from all the local government. So what people are saying there, you know the truth. So what are saying the truth?
Can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Where did you vote?
Hello?
Can go ahead.
Where did you vote?
Are you calling from Abuja or from Edo State?
I'm calling from Abuja.
Did you vote? Did you vote in Edo State in the current in the governorship election?
Yes.
Were you on ground?
Where did you vote? Which local government?
I'm on ground, sir.
Which local
government did you vote? What's your unit? What's the name of your unit? The local government.
Local government.
We have lost the caller. He did not vote. It was just insinuation. Hello, good afternoon. This is the Polity live from KAFTAN Television.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
John.
Okay, John, go ahead.
John Darling.
From where?
Yes. The election in Edo State on Saturday has come, and before the election, we know the outcome of the election. We thank God that it's peaceful. We thank God that it's peaceful. That is paramount.
That is the most paramount. Yes.
Aspect of that election, because there was high tension.
There was high tension.
There was confusion everywhere before the election. But thank God for the people of Edo State to maintain that decorum of peaceful election, and for the institutions. See, let me tell you, I don't think that Obaseki would have won that election, because if a man can treat his deputy in that way, treat the upper, he just felt as if because he's an incumbent governor, he can get everything he wants at a matter of gold, which is not. You don't bite the fingers that hurt you. No matter in politics, you must go with people. You are not an island. You go with people. So he betrayed a lot of people, and he's not. Before he became governor, he was not a politician
at all.
It was somebody that single-handedly picked him and made him governor. So he had no structure. He started building the structure from where? He built the structure. The people he built the structure with him that surrounded him, he left all of them, or he pursued them in one way or the other. I'm a PDP person, but I knew that we cannot win that election because of Obaseki's antecedents and behavior at that towards this election. And if he had signed that peace accord, maybe the pendulum would have changed, because he put fear into people. That's what we are saying. People should learn. Our leaders should learn to do things in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
I want to comment. I will comment this caller Say it's a PDP person, but he knew they were not going to win. And if they had signed that peace accord, see, that's why Godalo will have signed. But because the way Obaseki leads, no dissenting voice, how many of his aides can advise him? You are an advisor to somebody you cannot advise. And what kind of politics are we doing in Nigeria? Mention 3 commissioners. We had people that were of the same age with Oshomole as his advisors. Honorable Idausa is 70-something. The same age with Oshomole. He was the advisor. You can say, well, let's go like this, so we are not going like this. His personal secretary that they were in labor together. That man that was assassinated. When Goodluck was the president, that man that was assassinated. His personal secretary can talk to him anyhow as governor. So you are, according to somebody, an insider, you are shouting. Your Excellency, you are shouting. Stop shouting. You understand? But now, how many of his commissioners can talk to him?
Can look at him and face him.
If I am a commissioner or an advisor to the governor, I will do everything possible. If there's one thing I will do, is to reconcile the palace and the state government.
Okay.
Is to reconcile the palace and the state government. You cannot take away the influence of the Oba of Benin from the politics. When Lucky contested once upon a time, and the father and Oba was having a problem, they lost already the local government. No, Lucky won the election, but they lost already the local government. The seat of Oba of Benin, they lost. Go and check the result. They lost that local government. You cannot, the influence of that kingdom, one of the oldest kingdom in Africa, you cannot take away the influence. You fought it. And I want to tell you again, if you go to Ebenorf, according to an insider there, the idol of Osatibie of the Kenfu dynasty is having a problem. The state government is having a problem with him too. I was told that for the past 3 years, he has not received his remuneration as a king. And it's a first-class king. The Oba, the ideology of Saturday is having a problem, and the state government is having a problem with him. So what sort of leadership is that?
And he has a problem with judges.
What sort of leadership is that? He refused to sign
the state assembly.
State assembly, you used to, out of maybe 24 or 20 something, you use only 9 or 10. You refuse to swear in some people. For 4 years, there were no representatives of these people, majorly from Edo North. They have no representative in National Assembly. And you expect those people to vote for you. Your deputy governor is from Edo North. You impeached him. Then you want to win. There. Somebody called from Akoko Edo. You brought Omobayo as the deputy governor, as the new deputy governor, after you impeached Philip Shaibu. People said, okay, give Kabiru Ajoto, former speaker. Kabiru Ajoto, you say no, it's not relevant. Some people told you it's not relevant, he cannot do anything. If you see the result from his word, from Kabiru Ajoto's word, you will know that he lost. The man left you and went back to APC. That shows why you have a abysmal result in Akoko Edo. In the same Akoko Edo, where you have the deputy governor, you lost. I am continuing to say that the votes gathered by PDP in this election was a vote for Asue Ighodalo, and not necessarily because of power of incumbency or Obaseki. Obaseki was in PDP in 2020. President Buhari was an APC man in 2020. Obaseki won the election. Is it the federal might? Is it something that was just invented, or federal mass has been there? You won that election. Okay, is it saying that 2016 Buhari was president, he won in 2016 in APC? Was it because of federal might, or in 2020 federal might was on holidays? See, it is normal. If you are a supporter of PDP, whether you are an appointee or you are targeting an appointment, you will say the same thing that these people are saying. Now, nobody loses an election in Africa and Nigeria. Every election is rigged. Even when you are fighting everybody. You left APC, you fought in APC, scattered everything. You went to PDP and you scattered PDP. Do you believe that? Did you see the vice chairman of PDP in South, Chief Dan Obi. Did you see him in any of the campaigns?
No. I wasn't there.
No.
He didn't turn up.
He didn't turn up because he fought him. Everything that he promised in 2020, according to them, in 2020 when they gave him the ticket, he didn't do any of them. And this is somebody that infrastructurally you did not perform. you can't show us projects. You demolished the hospital and built something else there. You cannot hit your cake and have it. Just the way this scholar said, a member of PDP. I'm a member. He says he's a member of PDP that.
But he knows they cannot win.
They cannot win because you must patronize the people. You must patronize the people, and patronizing the people does not mean you must give everybody SA. Does not mean you must patronize those that are your commissioners or your no. Even when you appoint people into your cabinet, you must give them a voice. You must give them a voice, because if their supporters perceive that their voice is not relevant in the government, they will not be able to sway their supporters to vote for the party. If you are a commissioner and I am your supporter, I'm not in the government, I'm a business person, and I discover that you are just there in that government, you are irrelevantly there in that government, you will not be able to convince me to vote for that party and the candidate. That is the way it works.
So let's talk about the prevailing peace in Edo State. Right through the campaigns up to this time around, the only major case we've had was when Philip Shabu got his verdict of his statement as deputy governor that there was, there was a shooting, assassination attempt, so to speak. There was a shooting at the airport where a police officer was killed. But on the day of election, there was no case of violence. Till today, till this moment, there was no case of violence. Could you attribute that to the presence of the deployment of security?
No, that day, according to what they said, that the governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebholo, was with Philip Shaibu, the deputy governor, who just got his verdict from Appeal Court. And they were at the airport coming out. Then members of Edo Security Network, ESN, allegedly shot at them, and the bullet caught a policeman, one Akko, whether a sergeant, caught a policeman, and he died. And the corpse was displayed. Nobody can argue that the policeman died or he did not die.
Yeah.
Now, investigation was supposed to be made and arrest made. It was alleged that the then Commissioner of Police did not arrest anybody, so the Commissioner of Police was removed. And arrests were made. And they said the governor said if his boys are arrested, Nigeria will burn. Nigeria cannot burn. All of us cannot burn Nigeria. Even bandits, Boko Haram cannot burn Nigeria. Nobody can burn Nigeria. We will do our part, run our leg. It's a relay race. We will run our leg as a people. When we are gone, our children and children are yet unborn will come and run their whole leg. Nobody can burn Nigeria. Nobody can. Nigeria is not a man-made nation. It is, though geographically you can say it's man-made, but even though Nigeria decides to go separate ways, the people we see exist because the geographical location does not determine Nigeria. It is the people that determines Nigeria, and you cannot kill everybody. No matter how sophisticated your armed group is, no matter what you have. So, now, why is it that the state did not condemn the killing of the policeman? Is the policeman a member of a political party? No. Every political party and their stakeholders have security agents guiding them, including the governor. So, if one is shot and he died, the case should be investigated first. Both APC, PDP, Labour Party, and every party and stakeholders, they are supposed to condemn the killing of that policeman, but it was not done. So, what are we saying? We are saying that people that are saddled with the responsibility of protecting the people, if a policeman can be killed, they must do something. And that was why the security architecture of the state was changed. It deployed 30-something thousand policemen, civil defense, and that shows you how serious our police can be if they really want to work. And you can see the peaceful atmosphere during the election. That incident taught Nigerian police force a lesson that there must be adequate security for this election to be conducted in a free and fair manner. And that was why we don't have any incidents of, except some incidents in some places. You know, the Nigeria police banned the Edo Security Network, ESN, and people complained. The governor and his party, they complained. And I want us to take our mind back to the issue of state police, because when we talk about policies and bills, Nigerians only look at the outcome of the bill. The component of the bill, we cannot even read it. Even when it is available for us to read, we can't read it. Even when we have Android phones, when we have laptops, we can't read the component. One of the components of state police is that they will not participate in any election. It is there. That bill, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, it is there that state police will not participate in any election. So if a security network that is more or less a vigilante group is banned from participating in an election, so what is the outrage all about? That's the outrage will show you how desperate our politicians are. And that is why some people are not supporting state police. Despite the level of insecurity in Nigeria, some people still don't believe that governors should be given the power to hold security apparatus. They will misuse it. But if you say they will misuse it, they can still misuse the Nigerian police. They can still misuse their neighborhood watch. We can only put a clause that will checkmate them. So I support state police, but that kind of clause that they should not participate in elections, not only federal elections and state elections, even local government elections.
Okay,
it's a very good one.
Let's take this caller. Good afternoon. We are onto the Polity live from KAFTAN Television. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from. We have lost the caller. Now, let's talk about vote buying. Vote buying seems to have become part of our polity, because we have tried. Nigerian politicians have not learned any lessons from my own reckoning, with regards to, you know, removing the spectacle of vote buying from our election process. And we've had people being arrested by the FCC in the past. Even on Saturday during the election, while voting was going on, we've had reports, you know, by the media that some people were arrested in an attempt to buy votes. How did you receive that? And
apart from those that were arrested,
learn from it?
Apart from those that were arrested, there are so many others that were not arrested. According to Samson Itodo,
yes,
the executive director of Yaga Africa, he said, and I quote, that both parties, APC and PDP, are complicit of vote buying. They actually bought vote. They actually induced voters to vote for them. Now, if you look at it, what is the why is it that we have vote buying in Nigeria and we don't have such in other countries? Number one, our political culture. Our political culture is wrong. Number one, Nigerians believe they cannot even vote for free. Some believe they cannot even vote for free. Some actually came out to vote because of that money. Because those that were induced were actually calling their friends. Where are you? Have you voted? If you are not, they are giving so amount of money, 10,000 naira. If you are going to vote, then the people start coming out to come and vote. See, it doesn't justify the kind of agitation that we are having. We are agitating for good governance. You cannot agitate for good governance and at the same time collect money to vote for people and turn around to ask them for good governance. It's not done anyway. We have always agitated that, okay, the cost of running an election in this country is too high. And based on that, if you have ideas, you don't have the resources, you can't contest. If you contest, you are going to fail woefully. So how do we change that? We can only change that from the side of the citizens. From the side of the citizens. If a thief does not have somebody that will patronize what he has stolen, what he has stolen will become useless. If everybody refuses to collect money to vote, nobody wants to reduce anybody again. But if we continue to blame politicians for vote buy, leaving out the citizens, and we cannot blame the citizens 100% because there's hunger in the land. You left nothing at home.
Is that why they perpetuate the weaponization of poverty, so that they will continue?
So to say, you cannot leave. You didn't leave anything at home.
Exactly.
And you came to the polling unit to vote your conscience for party A, and you see party B approaching you and say, if you vote for party B, we are going to give you 10,000. Initially, you had wanted to vote for party A, but because of that level of hunger, because you need the money, then you decided to vote for party B. You have contributed to bad governance. You have contributed to diminishing our democracy, because democracy grows when people are enlightened.
No, you have quoted Samson Itodo, the executive director of Yaga Africa, that has been doing tremendously well in election observation in African, elections and elsewhere. Now, at the end of this election, we are expecting reports, because that's usually what they usually do. At the end of the election, they produce their reports and forward it to INEC and relevant authorities. What would you be expecting from an election observer group like Yaga Africa with regards to the recently concluded Edo State governorship election?
There's nothing much. There's nothing much they can do. They can only put their reports together, send to INEC. INEC, on the other hand, will send a report to relevant agencies like EFCC, like the Nigerian police, and so on. When the report of insecurity in polling units will be sent to police and civil defense, and at times the military, the general atmosphere, the general security atmosphere of the state will be sent to the military. Military personnel are not allowed around the polling unit. We can only see policemen. And for the first time in Nigeria election, we see more hands in Edo State. We have 3-4 policemen in each and every polling unit. So the people that came out, the people that refused to come out, never knew it was going to be like that. The people that came out felt secured, and they were able to stay from morning till evening. Even in polling units where beavers malfunction, they were able to stay for a very long time to cast their vote without fear of being attacked by anybody. So the issue of vote buying, INEC can only send their report to EFCC to checkmate it, and EFCC, on the other hand, there's little they can do. The citizens must take ownership of our behavior. We must take ownership of our behavior and say, oh, no, I'm not going to be part of vote buying. Bribery, both the giver and the taker are all complicit. So what about penalties? We've not had stringent penalties. INEC do not have the capacity. The law does not empower INEC to penalize anybody. You cannot say because there is vote buying in the polling unit, then you are going to cancel the election in the polling unit. No.
Okay, Onlede, let's take a short break, and when we return, the program continues. Please don't go anywhere.
In the last few months, the various political parties have embarked on very rigorous campaigns to sell their respective candidates for the office of governor to the people of Edo State, in an exercise which came to a climax yesterday. The attractive thing about democracy is the power it bestows on the people to choose who governs them. Therefore, when this power is blatantly seized from the people, it is not just a tragedy, but a travesty of democracy. Regrettably, the outcome of the September 21st governorship election appears to have daunted the spirit of many Edo people who feel powerless in the face of the brute force of the institutions that are supposed to protect them. It is therefore understandable that many people feel sad and aggrieved. But in the midst of this despair, I'm urging all my fellow Edo citizens to maintain calm and not resort to violence and the destruction of property in spite of this provocation. Peace and justice will always win at the end, and this is my prescription to all the good people of Edo State who feel vexed and violated at this time. Clearly, it is obvious to the least discerning the amount of impunity and reckless disregard for processes and law that was displayed in this gubernatorial election. In a democracy, there are always safeguards for addressing grievances, and we hope that all those affected will seek resolution for this blatant disregard of law and process. With this in mind, I implore all Edo people to go about their lawful businesses and rest assured of the commitment of our government to your well-being and security. God bless the people of Edo State.
Well, you're still on to the polity. We were on Onlede. You heard the governor of Edo State,
yes.
Godwin Obaseki, crying foul, so to speak. But I like one portion there where he said he's calling for calm. You know, the people of Edo State should not take laws into their own hands. They are going to, they are going to follow this thing with civility, and people will be expecting litigation.
That's very good of him. This is what is expected of a good leader, because as at yesterday, PDP members were already outside demonstrating around INEC office, while APC members were around Ring Road jubilating. So I think it's a very good one. He has called for calm, which is an attribute.
He was quite looking calm. He was looking calm.
Yes. It is
but internally,
they have the right to seek redress from INEC first to review the results of the elections. Then, if they did not get what they want, they can go to court. And we have 3 layers of court: the tribunal, the appeal, and the Supreme Court. So all of them cannot be wrong.
And it's handing over in November.
So it is a very good one. I implore Edo people to be calm, especially PDP supporters. They should be calm and follow it with civility. When elections like this comes, what I want politicians to understand is that there are people that do not belong to any political party. There are people that are not interested in politics. Though, through awareness, civil society organizations are trying to say, no, you must be concerned, you must participate. But there are people that will not participate. All they want is to do their business, get their money, live their life silently with their families. So the right that you have as a political party and our supporters to demonstrate, protest, is the same right they have to peaceful living. They must be able to drive their car from Ring Road to Aduawa, Akwakwafa, everywhere without let and hindrance. People must be able to drive their cars in Benin, around Ogida, or everywhere. They must be able to drive their cars around GRA and Ring Road, as busy as Ring Road is. They must be able to drive their car without anybody obstructing them from going on with their peaceful and legal business. So if you are now chief, you should be able to do the same thing. If you are Udome, you should be able to do the same thing. If you are Nigara, you should be able to do the same thing. Everybody is not a politician. So do not disrupt the peace of the land because your party has lost.
Okay.
Do not disrupt the peace of the people because you are jubilating and celebrating that your party has won. Both of them are against the fundamental human right of other people.
Okay. So now, Olumuyiwa, let's talk about one fundamental issue. And when you take a look at the entire, gamut of preparations, INEC preparations by the media that had, wide, very, very wide coverage, and then election observers that have been on ground, security, 35,000 police officers deployed, led by a Deputy Inspector General of Police, Frank Mba.
Yes,
in addition to 8,000 other sister security agencies on ground. And it was very, very peaceful. Results have been out. A governor-elect has been declared by INEC. Many people say, in spite of all this huge deployment, it was one election cycle, one off-cycle election, so to speak, that happened on Saturday. Many people are saying it is a litmus test for 2027. I don't agree. Do you feel it is a litmus test? Because it's just one election with all eyes focus on it. Litmus test?
Every state has its own peculiarity. So you cannot use what has happened in Edo State and what will subsequently happen in Ondo and Anambra.
Okay, you're talking about off-cycle election.
Yes, as to judge what will happen in 2027 general election, because the Nigeria police force are able to deploy 35,000 policemen because this is an off-cycle election.
Yeah.
It's not going to be very possible for them to deploy that number of policemen, personnel, into a state during the general election. It's not possible. So, and the politicians knows that. So they take advantage of lack of enough hands in the part of security agencies to foment trouble during elections. But the conduct of this election is perfect. The conduct is peaceful. If you say it is free and fair, then you may be right. If you say it's not free and fair, you may be right. It is now left for INEC in the next 7 days to say, okay, it is free and fair. It is then after 7 days, if they say it is free and fair, it is now left for the court, tribunal, appeal court, and Supreme Court to determine whether it is free and fair. Because if you have voted in Okula and you say the election is free and fair, you may be talking about the polling unit where you voted. If you say it is not free and fair, you may be talking about the polling unit where you voted. For example, if Olumuyiwa is saying the election is not free and fair, I wonder why we have the moral right to say that, because as far as we are concerned, he did not win any polling unit in this election. Nobody did not win any polling unit in this election, including the polling unit where he voted, including the polling unit where his deputy voted. I saw Godalo won in his polling unit. Mende Okobolo won in his polling unit. Their deputies won in their polling units. So you and your enemy mate lost in your polling unit. So you cannot say
it doesn't have moral high ground
to talk about this election. So automatically they were out of the election. And I commend the security agencies, I commend INEC, I commend Edo people for their peaceful conduct. And I want Nigerians to see this election as a lesson.
Well, as we wind down, we're going to talk about lessons. Talking about lessons, since you have brought it, because that was, I kept it as the last question that we're going to deal with. What lessons are there? Because Edo State is known for robustness in terms of human capital. We have lawyers, professors, doctors that achieve greater heights. We have, they produce former labor leader, very, very, robust and combustible. And that's Adams Oshomole. We have pilots, we have military generals. But during the run-up to the elections, the campaigns, we didn't see that robustness playing out, in terms of issues. Rather, what we heard was apocalyptic talks, vituperative comments, name callings, and insults.
Because of
what lessons do we drive?
Yes,
moving forward.
And the incumbent governor changed to some certain extent, changed the dynamics of Edo politics because of the war that he was fighting with everybody.
Okay.
If you look from the south, Edo South, Senator Olumuyiwa, who is the DG campaign of APC, was with him. He left. Obede Hama, 2 times as a red member, was with him. He left to APC from Edo South. From the same Edo South, this man that was Idausa, the other Idausa was essay to Oshomole on political affairs, was with him, left in 2020 from APC to PDP with him. He left again now, back to APC, supported APC candidate. And so many of them. You go to Edo Central, he lost so many people who supported him. Anselm Ojesua, who was APC state chairman in 2020, supported him despite being state chairman of APC, supported Obaseki of PDP. You go to Edo North, Chief Danobi, the vice chairman of PDP in South, did not support his candidate. Did not support his candidate. And if you look at all these people, you go to Edo North. Senator Francis Alimekena left him, who contested against Adams Oshomole in Edo North Central District in 2023, left PDP and joined APC. In Edo South, Omasede, the daughter of Esama Obeni, Ibunedon, left. So he lost so many stakeholders, and you cannot rule out the influence of stakeholders in any election. Stakeholders always have their supporters who they will bring to the party, who they will bring and mobilize on election day to vote for their preferred candidate. You go to Edo Central, we have somebody like Dr. Larry Agedo in APC, and so many of them. Again, Francis Alimekena, again, Francis Inebeneki from Edo Central, but that was not enough. You cannot fight everybody and get the support of their supporters.
Politics is local.
Very, very local.
And you have, we're talking about lessons to drive, to learn from this Edo governorship election. Olumide Akpata, the Labour Party candidate, was so much loved by the people. And a very, very articulate, a brilliant lawyer who lived all his life in Lagos, and decided to throw his hat in the race because of what he believes he can offer to the people of Edo State. And he lost at a wrong time. What are the lessons there for all politicians?
We must believe in the principle of equality and justice.
Okay.
We must believe that, conventionally, even though it's not in our constitution, we must be able to concede power from one zone to the other.
Yeah.
You go to Enugu State, nobody does this thing twice from a senatorial district. It moves from one senatorial district from north, Enugu North to Enugu East to West. That is the way they are rotating. Conventionally, it's not as if this is a state where we have everybody as Igbos. Yet they organize themselves. And they are able to move the ticket from one zone to the other. So, any state where we have different tribes dominating different central districts, why is it that we cannot come together and rotate this ticket? Equality and justice must prevail. We cannot complain about bad leadership. We cannot complain about being cheated. Then, in our locality, we cheat people. There are states that some people have lost hope that they cannot be governor. There are states that some people have lost hope that they cannot be House of Rep members. There are states that some people have lost hope they cannot go to the Senate.
The list goes on and on.
Yes. We must be able to concede power to ourselves if we know that the power we seek is for service to humanity. We must be able to give up other people opportunity to serve, and let's see the difference.
Okay. My parting shot is that if you don't participate in politics, like the great Greek philosopher Plato would say, you are doomed to be under the rule of fools. Participate in politics, play active role. You don't need to be a partisan politician, but play a role so that you will not be doomed under the rule of fools. Olumuyiwa Onlede, Executive Director, Citizens Awareness Against Corruption. Thank you for always joining us on the Polity. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Macualey.
That's our package today on the Polity. On behalf of my producer Ruben Okala and the entire production team, particularly my guys in the master control room, my name remains Macualey Hunohashi saying thanks for being there and bye for now. See you next time.